at the end of the day, I'm not regretful for anything that I've gone through in the past. So I'm thankful that, you know, whatever phase I went through at that time in my life, it happened and I appreciate it. And now it's like, of course, anybody would want to change the past, but I'm not living in the past. I'm living right now. And at the end of the day, I'm good right now, you know?
Thank you, man. Thank you for sharing those words of encouragement. Pills are definitely a major issue in our world today. But you mentioned something about breaking all your toes. How does that happen? Can you please share with us, how do you break all your toes?
Simple story. I used to work as prep slash kind of like sous chef. Walked into the walk-in. I was trying to grab some ingredients for something I was making, and they had all the kegs stacked up, and I don't know, I guess one of them was, you know, just about to fall, and of course, boom, just falls right to my toes. And I've been so fortunate to never have breaking anything when I was young besides a tooth. That's the first time I've ever experienced, you know, breaking anything. And you know, when they say you see stars, oh, you definitely see stars, you know? So that shit hurt. And that shit was painful. So that was my first experience of ever dealing with that amount of pain and breaking something.
When the keg falls on you, does it stay on top of your foot or does it roll off?
No, it's there, and I'm like having a hard time, you know, pushing it off because it was full. And I just remember tilting it and getting my toes out. The funny story about that one is the fact that I went 2 weeks just walking without even knowing they're broken. And I couldn't walk, and I remember at nighttime I couldn't take the pain, you know, and I hate going to doctors, you know, and I hate doing all that weight. So I go get x-rays, and they're like, hey, you broke all your toes. You can't be walking. You have to be in a little boot, you know, because they're like, where the parts are broken, they're like, you can't cast that, you know, so you got to be in a boot, you know, keep your, you know, your foot elevated. And yeah, you know, that's the first time. I think it was like a couple Norcos they ended up giving me, you know, and obviously, you know, kind of walked up the ladder right there, you know. And yeah,
man, right now that you're mentioning your toes, is that what caused the prescription to painkillers?
Correct.
Is that what led to it?
So I mean, I started seeing the little loopholes, you know, fucking going into the pharmacies and the doctors, you know, and it's a very crooked system. But at that time of my life, it definitely was beneficial, you know, in a financial aspect. But yeah, I mean, that was, you know, I think I've fucked around with alcohol, weed, and everything like that. Nothing has ever hit me like that shit, you know. I think we all have different brains, you know. Like, I trip out when other people are on Xanax, you know. Like, I can't even take a quarter of that shit. How the fuck are you on that, you know? I see other people fucking can down a whole fucking tequila bottle, you know, or 2 of them in a night, and you know. But when it came to painkillers, like, I guess that was mine right there, you know. So yeah, it's a trip, man.
Hey, we're glad to hear you're okay now, man. Thank goodness. Another fascinating thing you mentioned was listening to music while you're up there painting. What type of music do you listen to? Can you share that with us as well?
It really depends on what mood I'm in, you know. But believe it or not, I think I've always been opposite to certain things. Like, let's just say when I first started painting, I would outline first, then fill in, you know, because I didn't know how to outline, so I can make all the mistakes at first. And for some reason, heavy metal music calms me down. And then there's times I listen to opera music, and believe it or not, that fucking gets my brain going. So it really depends on what mood I'm in, you know. And then not only that, fun fact, you know, if anything, the style that I guess I do, there is a certain a couple individuals that I know say that is their style. I really don't give a shit whose style it is. All I know from my perspective is I've been listening to heavy metal music since I was a kid, and I've always been a fan of the cover art, and also to certain comics, you know, like Spawn, you know, and just, I don't even know shit about Spawn. I just know I like the way it's illustrated and fucking drawn out, you know. But definitely my style definitely comes from heavy metal music. I've always liked the way that they structure it, especially like, let me just say, like the Metallica one. Like, to me, that's so fucking iconic, yet so simple, and just the way it's balanced and arched, you know. And yeah, man, fucking, I've always loved the cover art and the way the t-shirts used to look. So, you know, I was always trying to mimic that, and then not only that, the music I would listen to. So, you know, I'm trying to make my style kind of look as the sounds do in the music, you know. So I'm kind of trying to put that into a booklet, you know. I don't know if I'm doing it right or not, but that's technically where I guess I'm kind of doing the certain style that I'm doing.